A dangerous shift just happened overnight, and this storm outbreak is no longer a routine severe weather event. What forecasters woke up to this morning is a rapidly intensifying system that is evolving far faster, stronger, and more violently than earlier projections suggested. Millions across the central United States are now facing a much higher end threat than anyone expected just 12 hours ago. The newest model runs came in with explosive changes: a deeper low pressure system, a sharper dry line, stronger wind fields, and a surge of rich Gulf moisture flooding north at an alarming rate. That combination is exactly what creates the kind of atmosphere capable of producing violent, long-track tornadoes, destructive hurricane-force winds, giant hail, and life-threatening overnight storms. This is not a small forecast adjustment. This is the kind of overnight trend that makes meteorologists immediately change messaging and start sounding alarms. Yesterday, this looked like a concentrated but manageable severe weather setup. Today, it looks like a major outbreak with the potential to become one of the most dangerous events of the season. The biggest change overnight is the moisture return. Forecast dew points have surged into the mid and upper 60s across Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, and parts of the Midwest, a dramatic increase from earlier forecasts. That may sound technical, but in real-world terms, it means the atmosphere is now loaded with the exact kind of fuel violent tornadoes thrive on. Recent setups this season struggled because moisture levels stayed marginal. That is not the case anymore. Today's environment is entering the prime range for significant tornado production. At the same time, instability values have exploded. CAPE numbers between 3,500 and 5,000 are now showing up in multiple model runs across the primary threat corridor. Combined with 60 to 90 knots of wind shear, this is the kind of atmospheric setup that can spin storms into dangerous rotating supercells within minutes of development. Once storms fire, they are expected to intensify extremely fast, and storms may begin much earlier than expected. Yesterday's forecast suggested the most dangerous window would begin closer to late afternoon. Overnight data shifted that timeline forward dramatically. The cap now appears likely to break between noon and 2 p.m., meaning tornado-producing supercells could already be underway by early afternoon. That earlier timing changes everything for people traveling, working outdoors, or assuming they have several extra hours to prepare. The corridor raising the most concern this morning stretches from southern Missouri and northwest Arkansas through central Iowa and into southern Wisconsin. High-resolution guidance is now indicating an environment capable of producing intense, long-track tornadoes in this zone. Cities including Springfield, Joplin, Fort Smith, Des Moines, and Madison need to be paying extremely close attention today. This setup has escalated fast, and conditions are beginning to resemble the type of outbreaks that generate widespread, destructive tornadoes. But the threat does not end after sunset. One of the most alarming developments overnight is the increasing concern for a dangerous nocturnal tornado event across the Ohio Valley and Mid-South. As the storm system strengthens tonight, an extremely powerful low-level jet is expected to develop behind the afternoon supercells. That energy will likely organize storms into a massive overnight squall line capable of producing embedded tornadoes well after midnight. Indianapolis, Louisville, Cincinnati, Nashville. This is where tonight could become especially dangerous. Overnight tornadoes are among the deadliest weather scenarios because people are asleep when warnings are issued. Phones are silenced. Sirens are harder to hear. Reaction times collapse. If you live anywhere in the overnight threat zone, you need multiple ways to receive warnings before going to bed tonight. Flash flooding is also becoming a major concern. The same tropical moisture feeding this tornado setup will allow storms to dump rain at staggering rates, potentially exceeding 2 to 3 inches per hour in the strongest cells. Areas already saturated from previous storms may experience rapid, life-threatening flooding with little warning, and this pattern is not ending tomorrow. Another round of severe weather is expected to erupt as the system races northeast, while a second disturbance begins organizing over the southern plains. Damaging winds, tornadoes, and additional supercells may redevelop from Texas and Arkansas through Missouri, Illinois, the Tennessee Valley, and the Ohio Valley. Multiple consecutive days of severe weather across the same regions dramatically increase the danger because communities, emergency services, and infrastructure become stretched thinner with every new round. Bottom line, the atmosphere has become significantly more volatile overnight, and the ceiling for this event continues to rise with every model cycle. Conditions are increasingly supportive of violent supercells, long-track tornadoes, destructive winds, flash flooding, and dangerous overnight storms across a massive portion of of the country. This weather pattern just took a very dangerous turn, and the window to prepare is closing fast.